Hey there, welcome back to Authors on the Air. I'm your host, James Well, and with us today we've got Matthew Goldberg. Uh, you can't be any part of the writing community without running into Lee somewhere, some at some conference. You have been on the road so much this year. I mean, I don't know how you're just not worn to a frazzle.
I first of all, thanks so much for having me, Jim. And yeah, this is kind of the end. So like, I mean, I'll be going to BoucherCon, but like, Thriller Fest was really the end of like a long stream of many conferences and
Yeah,
like stuff I did for the Jewish Book Council. So I don't think I'll do any. I don't think I'll do it on this level in the future. But I'm also glad I did it.
that's neat. Now, listen to some of the stories you had. You're almost adopted by a couple of women at the Jewish Book Club and that kind of thing. So
Yes, I
it
was.
sounded
Yeah,
it sounded fun.
in Albuquerque of all places. No, I did well there. It definitely was like beloved.
I
No,
love
it
it.
was really cool. The Jewish Book Council is great. They like pay your way. They set you up with all these great opportunities. And it was for my book, The Great Gimelmans, which was really the first I had written that had like Jewish characters and
Hmm,
about the religion. So it really worked for that.
that's perfect. But what we're going to kind of focus on today is Miles in Time. Now,
Hmm.
this is the first in a series, and it's a young adult
Hmm.
book. I do read some young adult, but this one was just a lot of fun to read. I mean, you've
Thank
got
you.
a really interesting character that,
Thank you.
in Miles, he's 14,
Hmm.
and it brought back some angst that I forgot that I had, from
Good.
from being
That was
from
my
being
goal. My goal was like all the angst, and then the sequel just came out too. So the whole
right.
series is now, yeah, Time Fixers.
Time fixers. Yeah.
Mhm.
So for folks that haven't picked this up yet, and I really encourage them to do that, tell us a little bit about Miles and what he faces in Miles in Time.
Sure. So Miles takes place in Iowa in the Midwest, and it's about a kid named Miles. His older brother is a genius inventor. He's working on a secret project. They kind of think it might be a time machine, but nobody really knows. And then, really sad, the book opens with the brother being, potentially killing himself. And Miles is like, no, he would never do that. His goal was to finish this project. And through kind of circuitous clues that the brother leaves, Miles is led to a time machine and told to go back in time just a week and solve the mystery of what happened to his brother. So he jumps back in time, but also works on fixing his own life. There's a girl he has a crush on, that he's not able to talk to. And the brothers also had a really strained relationship that kind of grew apart. So they really worked together to kind of figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and I thought it was fun. I mean, there's so many intricacies in the book. I mean, people give young adult fiction this kind of a pass, like, oh, it's not serious, it's not
That's true.
complex, but
Yeah.
this is as complex as any adult fiction book that you can find. I mean, there's great characters in it. I mean,
Hmm.
like I mentioned, Miles brought back a lot of memories in high school. He's 14, doesn't fit in. He's just not part of
No.
the popular crowd.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, how did you kind of put yourself and Miles
Yeah.
into that situation?
I mean, we were different. Like, I was popular in high school, but like, no, I think like Miles has like a little sense of humor. He's a little sarcastic, so I was like that. I had written another young adult series. My series, Runaway Train,
Hmm.
was about a 16-year-old girl in the '90s. She was a little bit more like me, a little bit. She definitely had like a mouth and really, really super sarcastic. So I kind of just start with that. And, I write a lot of, which I mean, I feel like you feel the same. It's like you write about like, you know, really dark things a lot of time, criminals and murder and all this. And I really just wanted to do something that was like a little sweeter. It starts with a potential killing murder. But Miles is just like a really nice guy. And I hadn't really written somebody like that kind of ever. Um, so my goal was really just to like, I don't know, make him as sweet as possible and really endearing and something that kids could like look up to a little bit, like if they're feeling like they're a little out of place, maybe.
Yeah,
And also he's like a budding amateur detective, so anybody that kind of feels, in terms of that, like they have that kind of hobby, to follow their hobby, but honestly, mostly it's adults that have been reading it, so I really haven't heard from any kids and what their experience with the book has been. Honestly,
That's funny.
yeah,
Because I mean, what I've seen with YA, it's a lot of those emotions are like right on the surface,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you don't have to dive too deep to get that emotional response from a character.
Sure. I mean, you're feeling a lot of these things for the first time. So like he has a
Yeah,
crush on a girl. That's a very first thing. He also is a little curious, like he might be bisexual. So like that's a new thing for him. So there's all these things that are like the first time he's feeling it. So the emotions are so apparent. And why usually it's in like first person. So like you're experiencing it really through the character as you're reading
yeah,
it. And it kind of makes it easy to write because not that much is hidden. Like everything's really kind of on the page in terms of what the character is going through. And then in the second book, he grows up a little bit. I mean, obviously, like the first crime is solved. Usually in YA, it's a positive ending.
right.
But is it? So like, there's a new mystery that they have to the brothers have to kind of figure out in the next book. And then I think it's a nice place for it to end. I don't think there will be a third. No.
So time fixers. Then you think that's going to be the end of that series?
Yeah, originally with the publisher, it was for 3 books, and when I finished the second one, it just felt like a really natural place for the
Hmm.
series to end. I mean, look, if the book takes off on like such a level, sure, I'll figure out a third book. But why is really, really, really tough to market.
It is.
Really, really, really tough. So the it's a challenge that like it was fun for like a side project, but I don't think I would want to do like again and again and again, just because it's really hard to reach kids, like like as readers. So the main audience, when they're not accessible, it's like how do you really promote the book?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time at a local independent bookstore, and their
Mhm.
YA section, I mean, is one of their busiest sections. So the
Yeah,
readers
yeah,
are there, but it's the same titles that you see in every other
right.
store. I mean, it's
The
like that's the
huge ones.
familiar touchstone that they go
Yeah,
to, and
it's
so
the
it's hard to
huge
break.
ones. And, this was an indie publisher. They
Yeah.
did my last young adult series. They're great, but there's a limit to how much the books can really reach. So like Instagram has been really good. TikTok actually has been fantastic with it. Like I have a guy who just sends the book out for free to people on TikTok. So like that and the response has been really positive to the books. I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. But adult thrillers are like my heart, so I think I'll stick
Yeah.
with that. Yeah.
I mean, you've got I think if I didn't miscount, you've got like 16 books
Hmm.
under your belt.
Hmm.
And yeah, you've hit the thrillers, you've and YA. Yeah, I mean, and you've done both,
Hmm.
exceptionally well.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
what is it? Yeah, my pleasure. What is it that kind of drew you to do that YA sidetrack for a little bit? Sounds like you want to come back to the adult stuff, but
Yeah,
what kind of
yeah,
took
and
you
I
in that
mean,
direction?
like, I have actually another YA book that's all finished. That's just kind of sitting there. So, like, who knows? Maybe I'll. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to write something a little like nicer and sweeter. Where like, okay, maybe there was like one murder, but like people weren't like really killing each other. Like I just finished up. It's more like a fun book. It's set in the Hamptons, but there's like a lot of murder and mayhem going on in the book, and the characters are like all kind of evil, and like that's what I like. That's what I find fun. But I just wanted something that I don't know. It was a little bit like the sweeter side to me. There's little elements of humor in it. I'm
Yeah,
leaning more towards humor in my writing, just to kind of offset the world right now a little bit. So I'm enjoying kind of leaning into humor. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe you feel the same. Like, I just always like to challenge myself. So I'm like, okay,
yeah,
what haven't I done yet? Like, I have an
yeah,
idea for a fantasy book I might write at some point. I don't know, why not? Like, publishing tends to like put you in little boxes, but I've never worked well in a box. So I always want to kind of fight against that a little bit.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's where this one kind of came out of, where I was like, and the really tricky part, it was a really hard book to sell because a 14-year-old kind of falls between middle grade and young
yeah,
adult. So
Yeah.
that was the constant response. The middle grade was like, we don't know what to do with it. And then the young adult was like, we don't know what to do with it. And I was like, oh, just find somebody to like publish it. Like, it's not that difficult. Like, kids will find books if they want to find books. People
oh
will
yeah.
find books if they want to find books. So it was a lot of fun. And then the second one takes place in 1999, which was more when I was kind of in high school. So the character goes back to fix his family and his parents, kind of in like a Back to the Future way when they
Right.
met in high school. So it's chock full of like Limp Bizkit and 1999 kind of stuff. So it's really that one was a really fun one to write.
Yeah, that's great. I have to pick up Time Fixers. I'm gonna do
Yes,
that
yeah.
because
It's
I do enjoy the series. The characters are great, and like you said, there's a lot of humor in here, and
mm,
it's funny. I mean, one of the bits that this stood out at me was something that Miles' sidekick Kevin said
yeah.
is he wants to be buried at McDonald's where the server gives him extra stuff. That's his
Yeah, I
idea of
mean,
a perfect send
that's
off.
Kevin in a nutshell. Like, give him a 20 pack of chicken McNuggets, and he's the best.
He's
It's
happy.
funny because the response to him has been the most negative. Actually, people find that character particularly like really annoying. So I kind of left him a little bit more out of the sequel, just because like all the Goodreads responses are like, "We love the book, but like Kevin." So I
Yeah,
listened to the readers a little bit, and Kevin
yeah,
has just kind of a side plot. But yeah, I mean, you kind of need like the goofy sidekick. I feel like,
yeah,
yeah,
and it did work. I mean, he was annoying to a degree, but I think he was supposed to be because that's what Miles needed to kind of
yeah,
push
yeah,
him a little bit.
yeah. And like we all knew a Kevin back
Oh
in
God, yeah,
high school. Yeah, that just was like always extra, kind of,
yeah,
and that was kind of him. Yeah, I mean, I never really base characters off of people I know. Like I just don't. But sometimes characters are like amalgamations of a bunch of
yeah,
people mushed together, and I feel like there's elements of people in Kevin that I knew.
yeah, absolutely. Now, kind of changing topic a little bit.
Mm.
I mean, you've got another hat on that you're the editor and co-founder of Fringe Press.
Yes, yes,
It's a new
correct. Hmm,
press coming up, and I love the way you've rolled it out. I mean, you've been very deliberate and
hmm.
careful because I see a lot of new presses come out and they just open the floodgates and publish everything that comes in the door.
Yeah, no, no, no.
But I think you're being really smart about it and
Mhm.
picking the right books, the right thing to make your place out there known. I think uh, Chris McGinley's book I think is going to be a
Mhm.
perfect showcase for
It's
that.
so good. His book is just wonderful. It's really cool. It's really horror. It's made for to become a movie, which is really like the goal of Fringe. I mean, we really want to like acquire books that then, through me and my business partners that come more from the film and TV side, that we could send through a pipeline. And yeah, I mean, we had I think like 800
Yeah,
submissions,
it was
like a
crazy.
lot. I mean, I know a lot of people. My business partner knows a lot of people, so I'm not surprised. But I also was really surprised that like that many people sent. But we really were looking for the perfect one, so we really only have acquired one book, and I only really want to do like 2 books a year. Like I don't want to, I think for some publishers that works when they publish a million books, but like we want to be really careful. We want to, through Hollywood, give real consideration to the books that we acquire and actively
Right.
like try to make something happen. And also it's like I'm a writer first, so like I never want it to overtake that. So
Hmm.
I feel like 2 books is respectful, where I could give the authors all the time that they require, but also not have it take over my life completely.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. And I think people are going to start to see Fringe press out there more and more when they go to conferences and that kind of thing. Because I mean, you and the team were at Thriller Fest recently
You
and
are,
flying the
yeah,
flag. Yeah.
the entire team. Yeah, I think it was a first for Fringe where we all were there, because there no, actually one of the partners was not. There's 5 of us, so
Hmm.
we're all over the country. But yeah, I mean that was a little bit why I also, I mean, I went to, I think I've been to like 6 conferences already this year, which is insane. And part of it was like, okay, let me do it kind of as a book tour, because I found actually in New York where I am, a lot of bookstores didn't want to do YA readings. Even bookstores
Mm,
that I had done events at, they were just like, oh, YA, like, nah, we're good. So I was like, all right, let me just do kind of a tour through conferences, but also like to get the word out about Fringe. And the response is, I mean, everybody in our community is just so lovely anyway, that like people
yeah,
have really been just so nice and cool about it and excited. And we have kind of a tentative date for the first book coming out, and it's going to be mid-February. So
nice.
that's sort of the goal, like that we'll be pushing for. Yeah.
No, that's outstanding. But there's one other piece of good news that I think you have out there, and that's the Great Gimmelman's. Again, award recognition all last year for that book. It was great, but it's got a film option pending, right?
There's something going on. I have a call in an hour where I might find out stuff. I have no idea if it's going to be good or bad. Let's hope it's good.
It's going to be
But
good.
yeah, there's somebody really cool who's interested in writing, directing it. It's somebody I'm a huge fan of. And Hollywood goes really slow until it doesn't go slow. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's getting to a next stage. Um, but you never know. So I might know in an
Yeah.
hour.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, we'll finish up with something we call three quick hits, and that's three questions. We put you in Miles's headspace, so we'll change it
Okay.
a little bit since he's 14.
Yeah.
But when he's not doing his private detective stuff,
hmm
what is Miles' favorite activity to do?
Hmm. I mean, he's such a like detective that if he's not, he's probably reading a Sherlock Holmes
Yeah,
mystery. Like,
yeah,
I see him as a bookworm. Or he's hanging out with Kevin in his like treehouse, and they're like making fart jokes together. Like it's either probably one or the other for him. I mean,
yeah.
he lives in kind of middle of nowhere Iowa, so there's not that much to do really.
Right.
So yeah, he's reading or just being like a goofy 14-year-old.
Got it. How about his favorite music? What does he listen to?
Interesting. Well, in the sequel, he goes back to 1999. So he preps by just doing a deep dive into everything 1999. So I think his favorite song is Freak of the Week by Marvelous 3, which was like a kind of cheesy poppy
Right.
1999 band. But I've also gotten into it too. So like if you look at my Spotify playlist for the last couple months, it's like all 1999. So yeah, Freak of the Week. Yeah.
I love it. And then finally, what's Miles's greatest fear?
Mm, interesting. I mean, I think he would probably say in the first book, his biggest fear was that he was losing his relationship with a lot of people in his family because his
Yeah.
family is really kind of messed up. Like his mom has, very difficult mental health issues. The dad
Hmm.
is so entrenched in taking care of her. And then his brother kind of is so busy that he really just kind of feels lost. So I think his biggest
Yep.
fear is that he'll pull apart from his family more and more, and the books are really about them all coming back together. I mean, especially in the second one, like in a very like loving kind of positive way, that this
Yeah.
family that kind of branches apart finds its roots again.
That makes sense. Perfect sense. Folks, have been talking with Lee Matthew Goldberg, the author of Miles in Time. Don't let the YA label scare you. Pick it
Don't.
up because it's a fun read, great characters, great story, and I think you'll enjoy it. So, Lee, it's always great to talk to you, man.
Always great, Jim. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, take care, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye.